I mean, we kept on believing and the support's so great out there. And I'm so stoked to race with Tristan that even though we're f***ing off, we still roll the dice, we're still pushing and we're racing with our hearts on our sleeves. And yeah, we keep on trying, we're close, but eventually I think it will pay off. And I mean, beste geweer is probeer, so we ain't gonna stop, we'll keep on trying. And yeah, I think this is the start of a good partnership.
For the final time in the 2025 Absa Cape Epic, the sun rose over Fairview to reveal a race village dampened by overnight rain. After 5 dusty days, the moisture was welcomed, initially at least, though the humidity it brought was not equally appreciated. It would be a muggy day, but with grippy trails on the cards, the racing would be red hot, especially after a fiercely contested Stage 4. In dry heat, the midweek point of the race had seen the most closely contested stage play out on an 80-kilometre loop of the Paarl Mountain. A fast pace in the morning and a steep climb 20 kilometres in ensured that the UCI men's field splintered into an elite front group, a collection of strong chasers and the riders contesting the minor places. At the sharp end, Scott SRAM, Willie Vittoria and Mbuko Kemchamp were ever present. Buff, Megamo, Clementiza, Aubert and Honeycomb 226s pursued the leaders. The catch was made before the highest point of the stage, but an acceleration from the leaders then splintered the group again. A high-speed descent took a reduced group into the finale. Bart Alleman and Martin Sosek were the only riders from the chase to stick with Nino Schurter, Filippo Colombo, Luca Braido, Simone Avendetto, Mark Hubert and Tristan Norkier. Once again, Mbuko Kemchamp rolled the dice to break up the sprint, but again they came up short. Willie Vittoria edged out Scott SRAM in a photo finish, Buff Megamo were third. After 5 days of racing, Schurter and Colombo led Braido and Avendetto by 42 seconds. Joubert and Norkier were at 9 minutes 52 with a 3 minute 38 buffer on fourth. The UCI women's race was also a closer contested affair than any stage since the prologue. Stage 4 came off the back of a day when Annika Langveld had endured 2 crashes. She had looked uneasy on the bike in the trails late in the day and again seemed to be more cautious in the single tracks. This allowed Vera Lawson and Alexis Skada to seize the initiative and take the early lead. Once the trails opened to gravel roads atop the Paarl Mountain, Langveld and Sofia Gomez-Vierpan could bring their superior power to bear. They rode back to the efficient Infinity SCB SRAM team, then surged ahead over the summit of the day's biggest climb. Descending back to Fairview, the women in orange lost part of their advantage, but Lawson and Skada could never close the gap. When Toyota Specialized crossed the line, they had added another 50 seconds to their overall advantage. Behind the team in second, Titan Racing SE Honeycomb completed a strong ride to finish third, 39 seconds down on efficient Infinity SCB SRAM. The result allowed Toyota Specialized to edge up towards a 15-minute advantage, while Bianca Hoare and Hayley Preen saw their gap to fourth swell to 19 minutes. Stage 5 was the Queen Stage and would kick off a big, long weekend of racing at the Absa Cape Epic. With 98 kilometres to cover on the route from Fairview to Lawrenceford Wine Estate, there were gravel roads, vineyard dual tracks, trails and imposing climbs. In total, there was 2,850 metres of climbing on the course, which included the biggest ascent of the race, the climb to the neck between Dornier and Lawrenceford. Aware that there was a huge stage on the cards, the UCI men prepared with absolute focus for the climbing to come. Schurter knew it would be a day of difficulties and opportunities.
Yeah, it's the Queen Stage to Lawrenceford. It looks quite a lot of climbing, especially the last climb is quite a spicy one, steep one. But it also goes through an area I know quite well, around Stellenbosch, where I'm often for training camp, so I'm looking forward to it, yeah.
It's roughly around 3,000 meters of climbing and 100 kilometers, and packed in a lot of single trail, downhill and uphill sections. So it's the paradise for mountain bikers today.
Yeah, with the GC we are still quite close, and it's probably today is a hard day, so it's possible that we will see some gap between the riders today.
We have a good buffer on GC for third, but yeah, we're gonna see what we can do and just wait. I think today is gonna be the waiting game.
The waiting game would be enforced off the start line as the groups were led out by the official route vehicle of the Absa Cape Epic, the new Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. After the leaders' jersey wearers were called up and the gun went, the teams were escorted through a lengthy neutral zone. The UCI women were also anticipating an epic battle on the Queen Stages trails, but were unsure if the rain would be a net positive. After 2 days of looking vulnerable but still winning, Stage 5 would answer the question if Langville was truly ailing or if she was playing possum.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from today. I think by now most people are feeling a little bit tired, so it's a matter of like who's the most tired. So I think that's going to be, kind of the dynamic out there.
It's going to be, until now we have prime conditions. I think a little bit of rain did the trails well, not so much dust, but it might still get really wet out there. We'll see.
All the riders were certainly tired, but the trails would prove that Langville was still feeling stronger than all but Gomez Viafan. That, however, was still to come as they rolled off the Fairview fields and into the neutral zone behind the Toyota lead vehicle. When the flag dropped and the racing got underway, the pace accelerated to near full speed right away. Like mustangs let loose, the UCI men galloped across the vineyard roads, making short work of the first few kickers. For those without the firepower to force their way to the front, the first hour of racing is a gamble. At the mercy of those ahead, they feel the concertina effect of every change in speed. The closer a team is to the front, the more in control of their own destiny they can be, less hindered by the line choices and cadence of 10, 20, even 30 pairs directly ahead of them. At the sharp end of the peloton, before and after its split, were the usual protagonists of the 2025 race. These included the men in yellow, Schurter and Colombo, their Italian rivals Brido and Avadetto, and the Absa African jersey wearers Joubert and Nokia, as well as Buff Megamo, Clementiza Aubert, Topara Kende FSA 2, the Bulls Mavericks, and one half of Aubert Liet Speed Company. Lucas Baum was a man with energy to burn after a frustrating event thus far.
Well, you're only as fast as the slowest rider in the team event. So even though I had super good legs today and I felt great, that was the fastest we could go today. Georg was suffering in the beginning and also towards the end again. In the middle part, we had quite a good speed, and I don't know if we caught up to the leading group, but we definitely held the gap.
Eventually, Baum had to sit up to wait for his teammate Georg Egger or face a time penalty for being separated by more than 2 minutes on the trail. At that point, a group of 4 teams were in pursuit of Nokia and his fellow leaders.
Yeah, today was definitely the Queen stage. The pace was on from the start. I didn't feel too good in the beginning, but I knew I had to get through that first hour and a half, and I got through it. I've done 4 epics before this, and that 4 epics was, I think, just learning curves, knowing the epic, getting used to the long days, brutal days. And this year I teamed up with Marco, and now racing with the world's best in the front, learning from them, learning how to race, speed. It's just unbelievable to race at the front of the world's biggest mountain bike race.
Buco Chemchamp's nearest rivals, Samuel Poro and Mark Stutzman, regained contact but could not take advantage later in the stage.
At least, we gained some seconds on Buff Megamo, but not that much. Honestly, we were looking for something else in the top 3 maybe or so, but this is what it is, and looking forward for tomorrow.
Behind Clementiza Aubert and the leaders, Honeycomb 226s and Page Eurosteel 2 were chasing. But unlike the Italian-Swiss combination, they could not reach the front before the climbing intensified. Ascending Botmanskop, Schurter and Colombo redoubled their efforts. This shelled Poro and Stutzman, Alemann and Stosek, and Simon Schneller and Axel Rudel-Kortenat. Scott SRAM's speed on the climb earned Schurter the honour of leading into the Toyota Tough segment, the Doctor. Descending on a trail he knows well from his Stellenbosch training camps, the 10-time world champion put on a clinic of speed and flow. When the neutral zone came to an end, the women's race split into the top 10 teams and the rest of the field. The front group rode a steady pace with a map combination of Hayley Smith and Ella Bloor helping set the tempo. The Canadian-Australian combination have grown into their first Absa Cape Epic outing and are getting stronger by the day. As are Hoare and Preen, though the Titan Racing SE Honeycomb team's rides are action-packed with drama. On stage 5, they had their fair share of ups and downs and witnessed what they describe as the crash of the epic. Though fortunately for Monica Calderon, it was dramatic but not serious.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell they were very strong from the start on the front the whole way.
Did you
until
on TV? Did you?
The most spectacular crash of the epic. I think she deserves a prize. She went straight down the mountain, her bike rolling like way down.
We all stopped to check if she was all right. Well, the e-bike was, so I'm sure she caught it. But yeah, she was fine. I was like, oh, that's the last time we see them. And then suddenly they came up behind and they went straight past. I was like, okay.
Cannondale ISP Sport have indeed had an exciting race, but the Queen Stage was backed by performance as well as they took the fight to Losa and Skada.
In the beginning of the race, I think just kind of getting in the right headspace and I don't know, just being in a good position really. It's a long day, but it's kind of nice to make your own lines and pace it, once in a while and race our own race. And once it's spread out, we kind of did that. But we were in a group for a long time, actually longer than I expected. Cannondale was super strong, and we rode with them for a while. And on the climbs we just paced it on our own, and kind of played out from there.
Yeah, I mean, we had a good day out. We were fighting with Annika and Sophia till Stellenbosch, and then they got a little gap on us. And then we worked well with the Cannondale girls. But on the climb we had some issues, so we lost some time there.
The Infinity SCB SRAM team scaled Botman's Corp with Toyota Specialized. But when the UCI women reached the single track section, it was the end of the line for Preen and Hoare at the very front of the race.
Yeah, I think the cracks started to show between the pro chicks and the wannabe pro chicks today, which is me. I suffered today properly. Hayley was power, but it was cool riding with the front chicks. Specialized were so strong. I think they were literally riding in zone 2 when I was on the front, but when they went, and just like massive gap. I was suffering at Botman's Corp just looking down, and the next time I looked up, the chopper was like so far away.
Titan Racing SE Honeycomb endured as best they could to the summit of the climb, while Langfell and Gomez Viafan seized control for the first time. Losa, Skada, Calderon and Tessa Kortekas could follow the women in orange to the summit of the climb and into the Toyota Tough descent towards Stellenbosch far below. But by then it was a case of when Toyota Specialized would distance the rest of their rivals. In the time-honoured tradition of this storied race, Stage 5 truly lived up to its billing as the Queen Stage of the 21st Absa Cape Epic.
Today was fantastic. I enjoyed it so much. It was hard, but everything is hard at the Epic.
The scenery today is what I wanted from the Epic. The trails are beautiful, the weather with the climate was nice. The rain actually packed down the dust a little bit, so the trails were awesome. So it was really enjoyable, everything is fantastic. I can't complain at all.
Most difficult mountain bike race in the world. Had to try.
Yo, it was brutal, eh? Guys had us up and down that mountain, as you would know, but it is epic. So, muddy, rain, muggy, heat, was all good. Everything an epic stage should have, eh?
That was big and hard, yeah, lovely. Oh, God, yeah, that's a lot of climbing, and that last climb is big. But if you slow down a bit, you'll survive it.
Yeah, today I think the weather helped us a lot, but yeah, it was an interesting stage, wet, a lot of walking up that silly hill, but yeah, it was good.
Now listen, up to there, it was actually fun, but then suddenly when we hit that hill, we realized that it's living up to the Queen Stage, because that was a long, hard, wet, muddy, everything you get in the Epic on a typical Queen Stage, and it was next level.
I love again. A lot of single tracks, the single tracks on the eucalyptus,
was amazing. The single track down to here to the village was amazing. Everything having going so good that we were not complaining with nothing. It was a hard stage, but we managed to do it.
Great. And the first bit was unbelievable. The last bit up the climb wasn't so much fun. But then the downhill again. So it smiles all around.
Today I think was the best stage thus far. It was super lovely. Climbs tough, very tough, and you had to dig, but the rest was so much fun. It was like playing. It was one of the best days I've had on a bike. It was beautiful.
On the climb on the Bergpad in Kutzenberg, Nokia and Joubert attacked. While Scott SRAM and Willie Vittoria looked at each other to see who would close it down, Imbuko Kemcham built a lead with support of the South African fans screaming their lungs out in the Chivita cheer zone.
Yeah, on that Kutzenberg climb, we decided, okay, let's just send it. We went and yeah, we got quite a big gap, and then yeah, I think Marcus' chain fell off just before the neck, so we lost some time. And it's not just time, it's momentum, and yeah, it's a lot of stuff that counts towards a chain dropping. But yeah, the neck was brutal. The front top two teams are super strong. They caught us like halfway up there, and yeah, it was just a massive day.
Unfortunately, the pair's bid for glory disintegrated on the neck.
Hopefully next year can come back and fight for the win. But for now, podium, we're happy with that.
Oh yeah, it was brutal. I knew it would have been long and steep, and yeah, I knew also that I'm the heavier of the four. So I just just paced myself the best as I could the whole race. I felt good. And yeah, then at the top I saw that it was stepping up and down gradually steep, so I tried just to push in the flat where suits me the best. And when I saw Simone cracking, I just pushed all the way to the finish. And yeah, super nice day. Finally to gain some more time.
The Scott SRAM team drove to the line to maximise their time gains on the Lawrenson finish line. Schurter and Colombo only celebrated once the job was done. Willie Vittoria had to be content with second. Imbuko Kemcham brought it home in third to wrap up the podium places.
Yeah, they gained quite a lot, but yes, there is still two stages, so yeah, we will try till the end.
There are two harder stages, so we'll try for sure to do something. And yeah, the race is not over.
The level's so high. I mean, the first 30 minutes, it's crazy. Like, there was a part where I thought, how can we race like this? But I mean, we kept on believing, and the support's so great out there. And I'm so stoked to race with Tristan that even though we're kicking off, we still roll the dice, we're still pushing, and we're racing with our hearts on our sleeves. And yeah, we keep on trying, we're close, but eventually I think it will pay off. And I mean, beste geweer is probeer, so we ain't gonna stop, we'll keep on trying. And yeah, I think this is the start of a good partnership.
And yeah, it's super nice to win the Queen stage. And today was super tough, as I said. I'm super happy how my body could resist till now. So yeah, just happy.
After finishing second on the last 2 days, Schurter and Colombo stood atop the Queen Stage's podium, flanked by the Willie Vittoria and Imbuko Kemcham men. Scott SRAM's margin of victory was 1 minute and 10 seconds over Braido and Avendetto. Joubert and Nokia were a further minute and 57 back. For the fifth time since they took yellow after stage one, Schurter and Colombo received fresh Chivita leaders jerseys. Their victory on Stage 5 more than doubled their general classification lead to 1 minute and 52 seconds. Further down the standings, Insect Science broke into the top 10 for the first time in the race. As had happened in the UCI men's race, the Toyota Specialized women attacked on the kicker up onto the Bergpad above Kutzenberg. Langville and Gomez-Viefan rapidly established an advantage on the steep gravel climb and claimed the Queen of the Mountain hotspot as well as the applause of the Chivita cheer zone. They did, however, know that their work was nowhere near done. Gomez-Viefan had done the neck climb before and had been anticipating the effort required to simply summit that monster ascent. The prospect of racing it head-to-head with rivals on the trails was something they would rather have avoided.
Woo, a hard one. I did it in 2022 with Haley. We had way too big of gears. We were walking. It was hot. It was miserable. So that climb is still very much in my head. So I think it's really important to save some legs for tomorrow. Yeah, we got a little bit lower on tire pressure, and then we went to the fast track tire just to get a little more grip. I think it was supposed to be raining now, but I think it did rain a lot, and rather be safe than sorry.
Langville was in reflective mood and set on holding on to orange.
Yeah, it's special to be here this far into the race. I must say it's a tough one. I kind of forgot like how tough the Cape Epic is. But that being said, I think we're still good for the last 3 days. I've been quite sore, but actually yesterday showed that it's still manageable. We just have to be smart, so that's the strategy from here on. Yeah, it's going to be a big day out there, so you got to save something for that last climb. That's for sure.
Near the summit, Cannondale ISB Sport caught the power hiking Toyota Specialized combination as they pushed their bikes through the mud up the dreaded climb.
It was just unrideable. It was so muddy and like you didn't know what to do with your bike. The wheels didn't turn anymore. If you carried it, it was like 20 kgs. And then, yeah, we lost some time there, quite a technical issue. We had quite a good gap on Bianca and them.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of trying to decide if you need to stop and clean off your bike or just try to keep moving. And I tried to get back on my bike a couple times and the chain kept falling off and the chain guide kept getting in the way. And so I was kind of futzing with it, I think, more than I should have been. And then I got thrown off rhythm after that from that section. And and that was the day, I think.
For the 6th day in a row, Langville and Gomez-Viefan charged towards an Absa Cape Epic finish line with victory assured. The pair eased up as they hit the Lawrenceford lawns and crossed the finish line arms aloft. Calderon and Corticus were second, close behind. The battle for third came right down to the wire as Titan Racing SE Honeycomb and Efficient Infinity SCB SRAM went head-to-head. Paul and Preen had the momentum, however, having caught Loza and Skada atop the final climb and sprinted to line honours.
After the second feed zone, we could tell that we were probably climbing the best, and we did a little effort to go for the sprint. Got that, and then we just rode our own race, and it was tight at the end with the Cannondale girls, but we weren't necessarily worried about the stage win. We kind of wanted to just, get home safely, and now it's 2 days to go.
Cannondale ISB Sport joined Toyota Specialized on the podium for the second time, and the first since the Stage 2 time trial. Titan Racing SE Honeycomb completed the triumvirate. Langville and Gomez-Viefan's margin of victory was by just 12 seconds. Hoare and Preen ceded 7 minutes and 40 seconds, while Loza and Skada lost 1 extra. The Stage 5 general classification podium visit was Toyota Specialized 6th of this year's race. Going into the penultimate day, they hold a 22 minute and 30 second lead over Efficient Infinity SCB SRAM. Hoare and Preen are third at 35 minutes and 10 seconds. Stage 6 takes place entirely on Lawrenceford Wine Estate and the neighbouring Vergelegen. The 87-kilometre route takes in 2,550 metres of climbing and boasts both incredible single tracks and arduous ascents. The rain should aid rather than detract from the trails, helping settle the powdery dust which can make visibility a challenge on Lawrenceford's trails in summer. As the profile suggests, it'll be a difficult day with opportunities to gain or lose significant time.
big day today. The Queen Stage. Fairview, Carl, the Draken Stage to Lawrencewood Estate in the Helderberg Valley.